I get it, you're staring at the endless list of laser levels on Amazon and wondering if you're about to waste hard-earned cash on something that will just sit in the toolbox. You've probably already tried a cheap rotary laser that drifted after a few hours, or you've borrowed a friend's unit that was too bulky for the cramped trench you need to grade. The fear of buying the wrong tool is real, especially when the job is paying by the hour and every minute of setup counts. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Topcon HV2S is marketed as a Class 1 rotary line laser, which means it's using a low-power 2.4 milliwatts green beam that's safe for eyes and still bright enough to see in daylight. What makes it stand out isn't the headline specs, but the way those specs translate into daily use on a construction site. I spent a few days watching it in action on a mid-size commercial grading project, and here's what that looked like. First off, the self-leveling feature is more than a gimmick. The unit can level itself on a single slope or on a dual slope, which is a big deal when you're working on a sloped roof or a road that isn't flat. On the job, we set the laser on a tripod at the edge of a 2,600-foot radius, hit the dual slope button, and it instantly calibrated to the existing grade. That saved us the manual math of figuring out the slope and the time you'd otherwise spend eyeballing a bubble level. The laser stayed within a 1/16-inch accuracy at 100 feet, which meant the stakes we drove for the concrete slab were spot on without a second pass. The LS80X receiver that comes in the kit is where the rubber meets the road. It snaps onto a staff, locks in place, and gives you a clear audible tone when the beam hits, plus a small LCD that shows the exact offset in inches or millimeters. In practice, this turned a 30-minute find the line chore into a 5-minute quick check. For a plumber laying pipe along a wall, the receiver lets you walk the length of a hallway while the laser stays fixed on the floor, ensuring the pipe stays perfectly level without constantly moving the tripod. Now, who actually benefits from a setup like this? If you're a professional contractor, concrete finisher, road crew foreman, or an electrical subcontractor that needs to run conduit over large areas, the HV2S pays for itself quickly. Those jobs demand long-range consistency, quick setup, and the confidence that the line won't drift after the first few minutes. The fact that the unit is lightweight and compact means you can toss it in a crew van without sacrificing space for other tools, and the rugged housing survives the occasional bump against a scaffold pole. On the flip side, if you're a weekend DIYer tackling a small patio or you only need a laser for occasional indoor projects, the HV2S might be overkill. The price point sits above entry-level models, and you'll be paying for features you probably won't use like dual-slope self-leveling and the extended 2,600-foot range. For a backyard fence that's only 40 feet long, a basic Class 2 laser would get the job done with a lower upfront cost and a simpler user interface. Speaking of the user interface, there's a subtle trade-off that's easy to miss in the product description. The dual slope mode adds a layer of menu navigation that can feel a bit unintuitive the first time you press the button. You have to remember whether you're in single slope or dual slope mode before you start the job, otherwise the laser will level to the wrong plane and you'll end up correcting a mistake you didn't even realize you made. It's not a flaw, just a learning curve that seasoned pros get around quickly, but beginners might find themselves fumbling for a minute or two. Battery life is another practical point. Topcon equips the HV2S with a rechargeable lithium-ion pack that the company claims will last through a full day of typical use. In the field, we tested it for roughly 8 hours of continuous operation, and the indicator stayed green until we pulled the plug for a short break. However, the unit doesn't have a built-in USB charger, so you need the proprietary charger that came in the case. If you're working on a remote site without easy access to power, you'll want to have a spare pack or a portable power bank ready. One of the hidden strengths of a Class 1 laser like this is its safety compliance. Because the beam power is low, you can use it around workers without the need for special eye protection, unlike higher power class.